What's up, guys? Back at headquarters here, bringing you our whiteboard breakdown for Tuesday, March 31st. Okay, today we got a swole session, so we're getting into our bench press, or if we don't have a bench press, getting into our push-ups. Okay, so sun's out, guns out. Today, all you need for equipment is one dumbbell or kettlebell and a jump rope. If you do have a barbell or bench setup, we'll pull that out for our strength section. So to start our warm-up, we have 6 different movements, and we're going to do this every minute on the minute. So every minute on the minute, we're going to work for 40 seconds on a movement, have 20 seconds to transition, and then move to that next movement. Okay. Our movements coming down the board, we have jump rope singles. Okay, just trying to get that warmed up because that will be in the workout. We have glute bridges. So driving through the heels, squeezing my glutes at the top. Just trying to get that good glute engagement. As I work through that 40 seconds, you do not have to rush it. After the glute bridges, we're going to go into our plank. So squeezing our glutes again, packing our shoulders nice and tight, and holding that good, pretty much a hollow position on our forearms. Now we're going to just advance those singles from round 1 here and round 4 to double unders, or just work on practicing there so that we'll know what to do when we get to the workout. Then we have sit-ups. So butterflying those feet out, hands touch the toes, and overhead, trying to get a straight line from my shoulders and my hips, or at least my shoulders at my hips. Then finishing it off with just some body weight squats. All right, after we finish our EMOM, so 6 minutes there, we're just gonna move on to some mobility for our shoulders, wrists, and hips. So starting off, we're gonna have our hands right underneath our shoulders, and we're just gonna do some circles around our wrists. Okay, thinking about maybe 10 in each direction, putting a little bit more pressure forward and forward as we get deeper and deeper into those circles to put some more pressure on our wrists and warm up those shoulders. Next we have plank shoulder taps plus a push-up. So again, we're working that plank position while getting our shoulders nice and primed up and getting all those pushing muscles ready to go for our strength. You have 5. So 5 taps plus a push-up. So tap, tap, push-up, that's 1. Then we're just gonna get our hips. So our hips on a pigeon. So trying to get 90 degrees with that front knee, and then trying to aim that right hip down into the ground, okay? I can barely get there. Obviously my hips are really tight, so if I need to, I can adjust this to a 90-90 as well. Trying to get my knee at 90 degrees, and then driving my chest in towards that shin to open up the outside of my hip. Okay, about 30 seconds on each side until you feel like that's starting. All right, guys, on to the fun stuff. We got our strength section for the day. So like I mentioned in warm-up, we have 2 different versions depending on the equipment that you have. Okay, so if we have a barbell and we have a bench setup, we're gonna continue our bench cycle that we started in class 4 weeks ago. So this will be our 4th week of our bench cycle. If you do not have that, we still are gonna get a lot of good work in with our pushing, with our push-ups from last week, and just adjusting the percentages in our sets just a little bit for this week. So it's gonna look very similar. So for our push-ups, we have 3 warm-up sets that we're gonna be working through. We have 30% of your max. So say if you have 20 is your max push-ups, we're just gonna rock out 6 push-ups on our first set, take a 90 seconds rest, and then do our next set at 40%. Take a 90-second rest, next set at 50%. Now we're nice and warm, we have our push-up position locked in. Now we're gonna get into our working sets. So we have 4 sets this week, so we increased by 1 set, but we brought that percentage down by 5%. Okay, so 4 sets of 60%, taking a 2-minute rest in between each one of those 4 sets. And then we're gonna end off just like last week with 2 max sets at the end, going as long as you can without moving away from that plank position or having any kind of deviation off of that center line. For our bench, we're going to start off similar to like our push-ups, light weight for our warm-ups, and then we're gonna work up into our working sets. Okay, we have 4 warm-up sets starting at 50% for 8 reps, then 60 for 8, 70 for 5, 80 for 3, then we're in our working sets. Okay, so this one, we are all the way up to 85%. This is getting really heavy. So we're gonna take 2 minutes plus here. Okay, so if you need more than 2 minutes to recover, totally fine to take those because we only have 4 sets here. So we went down 1 set here to be able to get that recovery time with this really, really heavy weight, okay? After that 4 sets of 3, we're gonna move on, like we've been doing the previous weeks, to as many reps as you can do, taking again a big break after that burnout set, and you're gonna do that 2 times this week at 60%. Okay, all right guys, we made it to the Metcon. So for today, we have a 15-minute AMRAP with 3 movements. We have 40 double unders, 20 alternating dumbbell power snatches, and 10 V-ups, okay? So doing as many rounds as you possibly can in that 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a long time to be working, so we'll break down each exercise depending on the equipment that you have, around how long each one should take, so you can get an idea of how many rounds that you should be able to get in that 15 minutes. So starting off with our 40 double unders, if we have a rope, we're shooting to do those double unders in a minute or less. If you know you don't have double unders, we're gonna shoot for 2 times the singles. So we're gonna be doing 80 singles. If you have a mix of both, this is a really good opportunity to practice your double unders. So maybe we break that up into 20 singles, 20 double unders, or maybe we attempt to get to all 40, and if we hit that minute mark, we lock in whatever number that is for our double unders. So if I'm working for a minute and I'm at 30, lock that number in, move on to the dumbbell snatches, okay? If we don't have a jump rope at all, we're just gonna be working on our penguin taps. So still getting a little bounce off the ground and working on our double under rhythm. So just jumping up, and that double under tap, so you can hear that of the double under, okay? So moving on to our power snatch. So we have a few different versions here. If you do have a barbell, we're gonna be shooting for 95 or 65 pounds, or something that you can do in 1 to 3 sets. For most of us, this is gonna most likely be 2 to 3 sets. So either breaking that up into 10 or breaking that up a little bit more so we can get 3 in. If we do have a dumbbell or kettlebell, we'll most likely be able to get this done in 1 big set. Okay, so if we have something a little bit heavier, we may take a little tiny break in there once we get to 10, but pretty much knocking those out unbroken every single round. Okay, for our movements for all 3 of these, they all look very similar. Okay, so as we're setting up, think about, you can see that coach on my shirt. As I'm coming down, if I'm in my barbell setup, or if I'm in my kettlebell setup, or my dumbbell, it all should look the same at the start. Okay, as I stand up, things will change a little bit. As I stand up from my barbell, as we know, my knees will get out of the way, and then I'll shift into my high hang. For our dumbbell and kettlebell, we're just going to, almost like a kettlebell swing, just bring those hips forward into a plank. The elbow guiding the weight will look all the same. So as I come up, my elbow is going to drive high. Once it gets nice and high, that's when I'm going to turn, come underneath into my power, punch up, and then stand. Okay, if I have my barbell, obviously my hands would be much wider, but same focus of movement. Getting good hip extension, getting under the bar, punching up. If we don't have a dumbbell or kettlebell or bar, we're just going to do mountain climbers, and you're going to double the number. So 40 total quick mountain climbers. So it'll be nice and quick. Last one, got a little core work. We have 10 V-ups. If you do have a bar, we're going to just advance that into a toes to bar. Or if 10 V-ups seems like a lot and you can't do that in 1 set fully unbroken, then we'll move that down to just a regular sit-up. For toes to bar, thinking about, again, either completely unbroken or breaking that up into 5 and 5. If we have to, and that's not doable, think about maybe decreasing that just a little bit, but sticking with those toes to bar. For our V-ups, remember, we're starting in a hollow position. So don't arch your back to throw yourself forward. Keep that low back down, and then as we come up, that's when that low back comes up, and almost like you're folding up into a lawn chair, nice and quick, okay? Shooting here for, if you break that down, about 5+ rounds or so. Okay, so this should be not a ton of rest, moving from one to the other consistently until we get to that halfway point see how we're feeling, and then maybe even turn it up a little bit more into a little bit more of a sprint. After we are done with the AMRAP, take a little bit of a breather. We have a post-WOD 2-minute walk. Just get outside. It's been really nice lately. 2-minute walk. After that, we're gonna do 10 down dog to cobra to take care of our low legs. So just pedaling out those feet. And then going into cobra to take care of that core. And then after you finish there, then you're going to watch Stu's mobility video on our YouTube channel. Remember, we have a lot of these skill videos and mobility videos